Hello ladies and gentlemen, ADD Adventure here. Today I'm going to be going over how to create a garden out of an established grass yard and just kind of what I did and my rationale for it. My dog was going to be out here today, but apparently all of a sudden he has started to begin to try to eat my vegetables, so I'm going to have to figure out how to deal with that. As you'll notice, there's a patch directly in front of me with potting soil and everything in it, and a very thick clump of vegetables. That's more of an experiment than anything else. I kind of grew everything together, kind of just see what survived and what doesn't. And as you can see, the deer had gotten into it, so I made a makeshift fence out of fishing wire and decoration Halloween lights, and I think the lights are actually keeping them away at night. And then I have my little scarecrow here, which is a nice Halloween skeleton with a cigar in his mouth. But yeah, so as you can see, this is kind of the base that I had done, and I'll bring you all over here to the shade to show you exactly what it is. It is legitimately just boxes you can get from free from almost any business, and mulch of some kind. I'll show you over here. I literally just raked it out of the woods, and as you can see, there's still plenty of it left here, but I just raked it out of the woods and put it on top and kind of let it sit for about a month. And yeah, bring you back over here, show you the difference between the grassy area and the so the grass here is, it's relatively thick, of just not like your nice suburban grass, but just kind of just like weeds and grass and everything. And as soon as you get under here, you can see it's just basically muck and mulch with some of the grass roots still in it. But essentially what happens is the grass starts to decompose, and you get like actually really good, almost like a new topsoil on top of it. So what I did, particularly out here and all this stuff, is I started just letting it sit for a while, and I was getting impatient. That's when I got the potting soil, which, come to find out, I really didn't even need to get. But it did seem that the plants inside the potting soil maybe grew a little bit quicker, but not overly noticeable. And I do have just some random weeds in the garden too. My goal is not to necessarily have like a perfect vegetable garden. It's to kind of have, I don't know what you call it, like, I think people call it like permaculture or whatever, which is essentially just kind of letting things grow. And that apparently cuts down on pests and things like that getting into it. I do also have a kumquat tree that I planted, I don't know, maybe about 2 feet too far into the shade, because when I planted it here, I didn't think about where the sun was. But apparently it's good enough to start having the fruit grow. And if you'll notice, I don't know if you can see that or not, this tree is covered in spiders, so I don't really have to worry too much about pests. Actually, a lot of my garden is covered in spiders, which means I don't have to worry too much about pests. But as you'll notice, I kind of still did plant in rows, and what I did was, after watering all of this constantly, even letting it, if it rained on it, I didn't water it then, but if there wasn't rain, like long times of periods of time without rain, I just soaked it as much as possible, particularly the cardboard and everything, to kind of let it just kind of soak up and kind of start breaking down. And then what I did was I took a heavy duty rake like this, and then just started kind of raking rows into it, and randomly just kind of planting things. throughout wherever there's little patches, like under this little patch here. I actually have a random potato that started spudding or sprouting buds in my kitchen. I just kind of threw it there. I got a couple of them buried around here. I accidentally snapped off the things. But yeah, I bought packs and packs of seeds online. I didn't realize exactly how many I had, so as you can see, these are some of the newer ones, and they're kind of sprouting everywhere. And I planted mostly like beans and stuff like that, and then I kind of just went crazy with it, and you know, got like melons and peppers and all that kind of stuff. And as you can see, some of it is kind of growing in rows, some of it's just growing all over the place. I'm doing my best not to step on anything here. Like there's some of the grass mixed in with everything, and you can kind of tell where things are starting to grow, and some things are growing better than others. But like I said, there's a couple sprouts right there, which is nice because I was kind of worried about this here. I actually kind of forgot about what everything was. But yeah, so some things are growing better than others, and I've been trying to kind of figure out what's what. I actually kind of forgot where I planted everything, so it'll be interesting once it all starts to sprout. Actually, looks like some of the beans there are starting to form. I think those are beans. Pretty sure they're beans. And then I picked up some, what is this called? That's stuff that people burn. Actually, I think I have this thing still right here for it. Sage. And then peppermint. Just because I felt like it. But, you know, if you look down here at the bases, you can see that some of the plants are actually still growing. So I'll be curious to see how this kind of works out, because I know it seems like the bean plants have sprouted up a lot quicker than anything else, but it does also seem like the rest of the plants are actually still growing down there. So like I said, I'm kind of growing it more as like, instead of grass, it's just, you know, plants that you can actually eat. So I think I might have to probably acquire some more cabbage and lettuce and stuff if they're not going to grow as quickly as everything else, because they're kind of getting outshined by the beans and the corn and like the cantaloupes and the melons. But essentially, you know, wow, these are growing up really quick. Those are very small sprouts not a few days ago. And I think I got more potatoes right here. And I got some mystery seeds in some of the stuff that I ordered, so I have no idea what these are. But here's hoping they're not drugs. But as you can see, like down in here, like some of those lower plants are still growing through everything else. But like this kind of little patch here is the experimental, and the rest of it out there is kind of just growing whatever I can get my hands on still. And I kind of just, when it rains, I don't water it. When it doesn't rain, I water it. Basically, I try to have as low maintenance of a garden as possible. And to that end, I've actually started converting some of these little grassy areas here that are pretty much useless into, you know, some food patches, you know, as long as my dog doesn't destroy them. I got corn here, beans, I think I got some onions over there, and a whole bunch of watermelons here. And I'm actually starting to use kind of some of the corn as, that one's growing really quick. A couple of them are growing really quick. As irrigation control as well, just to kind of have some roots in the ground to stop from water flowing going that way. More watermelons, things like that. And kind of just picking random places throughout the yard that I, you know, recognize as places. Like I think I'm growing some what is it, dill there, I think, or is it mustard or dill? I can't remember. And then I have a couple spots right here where I have some peppers. They haven't started to sprout yet though, but my first experiment was actually just throwing cantaloupe seeds in the yard, and they've done pretty well out here. I haven't seen any others. I think I just grew them in like about 4 or 5 different spots, or planted them in 4 or 5 different spots. This is the only one that actually really took. And you know, I talked about basically getting rid of grass and growing food. Oh, wow. There's another one. Neat. I didn't even notice that until now. That might be a watermelon. Huh. Odd. Anyways, so I know I was talking about getting rid of grass, but I actually have this area here that is very shady and very wet. I've been trying to essentially get roots to grow so it won't be as swampy anymore, because essentially what they did is they put down this irrigation paper, and all that really does is create like a layer of, like, it's almost like a waterbed effect over top of all this like muck. Whenever it rains, it just gets really soupy. So I've actually found some grass seeds at, I think it was actually Walmart, that was like super shade or something like that. And as you can see, it's actually been kind of picking up. So hopefully that will solve my issue with the grass. And I've been trying to find other like vegetables and things like that that'll actually grow in like the shady areas. So, because as you can see, I have quite a bit of area to actually grow things, particularly if they're shady. And I actually have some natural springs that run through part of my yard, as well as a stream that, you know, I was able to grow anything back in this extremely shady area. Irrigation would never be an issue for that. But that's my little quasi dirt bike trail that is terrible. I don't know. I think that's where I'm going to cut it off. Oh, right. Another thing I did to get rid of the deer that I haven't actually set up yet is it's a motion activated sprinkler, which apparently they don't like or something. I don't know. I haven't even had a chance to hook it up yet or anything like that, but I think it'll actually help out with watering everything too, which I need to do again after this video. But like, I'll have deer standing about the middle of that patch right there, and about maybe 10-15 meters from me, and they won't even, you know, run. I'll have to make noises and they'll just slowly walk away. They bed down a lot over across the stream there, which, you know, like I said in the beginning, was an issue until I put up that little fence, which surprisingly enough, I think the lights actually helped out with that. But we'll see if it continues when we actually have, you know, actual growing vegetables. We'll see if they get more ballsy, but they are very domesticated, which is weird to me because I came from, you know, not the suburbs from my last place I lived at, where they were very skittish. But here you can almost walk right up to them, which means, I guess, in like a worst case scenario survival kind of thing, I'll have some food for a little while. So, but that's it. I'll let you go. If you have any more questions or anything like that about anything I did or suggestions, let me know. This has been ADD Venture. You know, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And yeah, be safe.